Okay, well, if you remember, a couple weeks ago we created our floor plan, right? We created quite a small floor plan, not anything major. And then last week we created from that floor plan two elevations, a right elevation and a left, or a front and a right elevation. What we did was we took the floor plan, we chose two walls. I chose this wall and this wall, so it's going to kind of look like this week. And I drew my front elevation, which represents this side, and I drew my right elevation, which represents this side. Okay, so now we're going to draw the 2-point perspective view of these two elevations, kind of at an angle of looking at this house from this angle. So we're going to see the front view and we're going to see the right side view now, and we'll have to use these two elevations kind of as our guide. On the right side we have to show the peak, because that's where I have my peak, and on this left side, or the front side, it's going to be a kind of a squarish roof. Okay, so how are we going to do that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of set these up here, and we're going to do some drawing here. So we're going to take this left wall and this right wall. If you remember the 2-point perspective drawings, we start by drawing a horizon line through the middle of the page, choosing a right and a left vanishing point. We then draw this line right here, this vertical corner of the wall, and I'm going to draw it right through the middle of my horizon line. I'm not going to do it too big, so it's not huge. And then I'm going to draw the top and the bottom to both vanishing points. So just a lot of my papers here. So I'm going to draw the bottom towards this vanishing point. I'm going to do this fairly lightly because I'm going to be erasing some of it. Okay. Now, if you recall, when we go back to our original I believe we said that was this, which one was longer, this wall or this wall? Well, whichever one we have is longer. I think this one was a little bit longer than this way. So that means my right side view is going to be a little bit shorter than my left side. So I'm just going to kind of estimate how big do I want this wall to be. Okay. So I'm going to estimate, I'm going to draw it right about, maybe here. So I'm going to go from the top straight down. Now this is just going to be an estimated size on this thing. There's no measurements that we're going to show on this. We're just going to use estimated sizes when we draw the windows and draw the doors. We're just going to estimate these things. So what I am going to do, I know this wall is a little bit longer than this wall, so I could line up the bottom of this wall and just kind of draw a fairly straight wall or bottom across, just to kind of see where this wall would be, like right in here, and I'm going to make it a little bit longer. So this wall is a little bit longer than this. And the only way I did that was I just drew or kind of lined up this straight across, and it kind of crossed the bottom here. So I went a little bit longer. Or you could have counted lines and then added one or two more this direction. So now I'm going to add on the peak here. I'm just going to pick the middle. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which means I have 1, 2, 3. The fourth line is going to be my middle. I'm going to estimate how high did I go here. Well, I went 8 feet and then 6 feet for the height, so it's a little bit less than the height of my entire house. So I'm just going to go maybe up into here. And again, I'm just estimating this. The roof is a little bit tricky, and I'll show you why. I'm going to draw it lightly to start, from corner to corner, and from corner to corner here. Remember, this is my gabled wall, right? Shaped like a pentagon. Now, the problem is, this is not actually the corner of the roof. The roof, remember, there's overhang. We've got overhang here and overhang here and overhang here and here. Well, we have to show that overhang here. So I need to come off of this face, and I have to overhang off of this face. So to do that, I'm going to come from this corner. I'm going to stick off this direction. So I'm going to go line up with this vanishing point. And I'm going to come, just going to estimate. So I just came off this face, just this far, not very much. I'm also going to stick that far off of the point. I'm just estimating, and I'm going to stick that far off of this one too. And again, I'm just kind of sketching this out. Okay, so I came off this direction. Now here's the tricky part. I've got to come off this direction too. From this wall, I have to stick off this way as well. I know this is difficult. So this point has to come this direction, and this point has to go the same thing. We've got to go off that way, off the back edge. So to do that, I'm going to come from this point, and I'm going to go this way until it lines back up with the center line. I'm going to do the same thing here. And I'm going to go down this time. And this one here. No. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything with this point. So now, this point here, I'm going to draw a fascia board from here, straight up. Just a little piece. From this point here, I'm going to go straight up. From this corner here, I'm going to go straight up. So that little line, and that little line are going to be the fascia board that run along the edge of the roof. Top to top and bottom to bottom. And connect top to top and bottom to bottom. And there's the edge of my roof. So let me just kind of clean this up a little bit. Peak of the roof is going to go down this direction. The fascia board is going to run down this direction. This line's going to extend up until it touches my roof. And this line is going to, I don't know why I erased that. That shouldn't have been erased. Okay, so that goes back behind this wall, so it doesn't line up with the corner. It goes underneath the corner. Okay, so now the roof here, I've got a little fascia board. I'm just going to go overhang off the back edge just a little bit. Remember, the farther you get towards the vanishing point, the smaller things get. And now I'm just going to kind of estimate. I need to make a parallel line. This back edge has to be parallel to this edge. So here's this. Let me kind of slide this back. Try to keep it parallel. So this line and this line should be parallel. Okay, so here is the beginning of So there's our general shape of the house. Now we're going to add the detail. I'm going to chop this up and put this on the next video as adding the detail. Okay.